is going on, hobby family? It is your boy K-Dub. I'm back. We're back. K-Dub's High Five, 5 rapid fire questions with your favorite hobby faces. And today, friends, it is one of the Twitter hobby favorites. You can see him right there. You may recognize him from the hit motion picture Varsity Blues. Also, the biggest Texas fan that I know. Sorry, all you other Texas fans on Twitter. He's the biggest one that I know. My good friend, the Hook'em Master, Nate Gunderson, at Gunderson Nathan on Twitter. How are you doing today, bro?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It is a privilege to get you here. This is the comeback video for me coming off the old appendix being a jerk. So I got to bring the best. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, you were digging the barrel here, buddy. Come on.
Well, you know, you can only get so many no's until you get a yes. So how this works, bro? I got 5 questions, all hobby related. I'm gonna throw them one right after another. Ready to take on the high five?
Let's do it.
All right, man. First question: how did you get into collecting cards, man? Where did that begin for you? How did you start? You know, how did your collecting journey kind of begin?
So it's funny. Like I try to think back, and there was a time that I remember my dad getting me into it. But the main one I remember is I had a Weeblo scout leader. It was a lady that taught us in Cub Scouts, and we were family friends. And I remember going to a flea market, and she bought me a 1988 Donruss team set after they'd won the World Series. Okay. Still have it today. And that's just what I remember collecting. Now, my dad was into sports. He had told us stories. You know, my dad was from New York, and he moved down here, and he had lost his collection somehow in the move. And his collection was Mickey Mantles and Willie Mays and stuff that we rule and dream about today. You know, I still have fantasies that we find this binder somewhere that I know is 50 years, gone, but, just the things he told me about it, what was in it. So I don't know which path I did. I mean, it's both of them. I think the scout leader, I think, is what I tell people more. Because like I said, it was a female that she collected cards with her son, and she was a single mom and bought me that set, and it kind of went from there. And, I did a little bit of baseball at the beginning, did a lot of Garbage Pail Kids. I was I would walk the neighborhood and get cans and recycle them for a quarter to go buy a pack, or search the couch cushions back of the car.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of just that. It's kind of where I remember it starting at.
Yeah. Right on, man. I remember my parents had this like change jar that sat on top of their like little shelf. And anytime in the card shop, man, I just dig my hand in there and run out the door. Take what you get, man.
Yeah, nickel here, dime here. And we actually had it was a convenience store / service station.
Okay.
That's still there to this day. It's funny, but I could walk up. It was 2 blocks away, and I could walk up and grab a pack. And there's a lot of Garbage Pail Kids at the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing with sports cards at the time.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where it started.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, you kind of mentioned a few going into the second question here, kind of mentioned a few, your dad and then your scout leader. But I know that kind of your collecting has kind of changed a little bit, to where it's more like the masses rather than just like, random cards. Who would you say have been some of your biggest influences, maybe outside of your dad and the scout leader?
Man, it's funny with, so I was not a social media guy ever. I mean, my wife had Facebook forever, and she actually got me into Twitter. She had looked at it, thought I'd like it. I started it, but starting to see how people, I followed Longhorns and I followed sports people, and watching them collect, then this world opened up where we're trading through social media and sending mail. That's stuff that I had never thought about until I found Twitter, and then it's the connections you make with some of the people on here. I mean, Dub and some of them, I mean, you look back now and I've known them for years, and it does not seem like it's been that long.
For sure.
Looking to see just how other people collect and what they collect. And, I've gone through my collection now and find stuff that I've had for years. And all of a sudden I see that somebody collects Player X. And I'm like, man, I have this autograph of Player X that just sits in a box, So It's like, all right, cool. Shoot it along the way and give it to somebody else,
No, for sure. For sure. Now, I heard you mention Dub in there. I mean, is he getting a little kickback from you shouting him out on this or what?
And that dude, I swear, he paid me a little bit to throw his name out there, get more followers and stuff. So he said the check's in the mail.
Okay, fair enough. All right, man. Let's go to number 3 here. The Grail card for you, man. I know you love your Longhorns, but I know you also got other things that you collect. What is the Grail card for you and why?
Well, it's it's kind of funny. I pondered this question, and it would have to be, and it's still low key, and it's still Malik, but the true one of one Malik that came out of Luminance, I put that rainbow together fairly quick. It was one that was really cool because it kind of had the grayed out pictures, and I got the at 25 real quick, and then I think I bid on eBay. A guy had a best offer for the at 10 or at 5. I don't remember which one. And he actually rejected my offer, and I won it for $12 or $15 cheaper than what he had. So I ended up with that. So now all I'm missing is that 101, so I know you and some of the other people know that I got to meet, Malik not too long ago, but I actually had him do, the one-on-one on a random Luminous card. To me, completing the rainbow for me, I'm cool with it. I've looked for that card though on eBay, and you would think it would pop up fairly easy. I have never seen it pop up. I mean, I barely see any of the other low number ones pop up.
You have to wonder if maybe it's sitting in another Texas collector's collection, or
gotta be. Anything other than that, man. My other JJ Watt's my other guy. I have a few of his autographs, 3 or 4 cards that I've been gifted, to be completely honest. But anytime I could get something of him, a nice relic or something like that, it'd be pretty cool.
For sure, man. Awesome. All right, man. Question 4. Let's talk about the products now. You got all the money in the world. You can rip one box of cards. What are you ripping and why?
Gosh, man, I'm like a low key collector, right? So really, I probably bought my first hobby boxes within the last 5 years, and I bought Sage. I mean, Sage is something that I've seen. It's it's affordable. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think getting 16 autos out of a box is awesome. Usually, there's a horn every year that I'm chasing, or there's a Trevor Lawrence, or there's a one of the big names has done. Because Sage kind of gets them early. But I think national treasures, man. If I could, get one of those, the full suitcase or whatever it comes in. I mean, I've had a couple of the metal boxes that I've actually given my daughter that she puts cards in. But open one of those and slide your hand in because you got your main set of cards in the middle and your 3 random cards. That would be a slow roll reveal, kind of dream, and then just to see, And I'd go with like the college one or something like that. It'd have to be.
Do you got a year?
Oh man, I don't even have a particular year. I mean, any of it, I've seen breaks with it, and it would be awesome to do.
For sure. And the collegiate national treasures, I mean, you get the guys in their college uniforms as well, so that's obviously right up your alley. So
yeah, and that bugs some people. It doesn't bother me. Like I like when Prism comes out with the college, the college stuff right off the bat. During COVID, when you couldn't find anything, that's the stuff that I was finding.
For sure.
So blaster after blaster, that's been me. I've always been I was a blaster guy before blasters were cool.
Well, I think you're definitely one of the rarities. I think majority of people are going to want their, players in the pro uniforms, but there are a small niche that kind of likes them in the college uniforms. And I think you kind of fall in that for sure, being such a big Texas guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Speaking of Texas, we kind of mentioned him, Malik Jefferson, kind of your main PC, 500 plus autograph cards of this dude, including some autograph stuff that you had personally done by him. How did you come into this idea to chase so many autos of one player? Like, where does that come from for you?
So, I've always been UT guy, so I have tons of UT autographs, and I think people probably think I'm joking when I'm probably over the 1,500 to 1,700 autograph UT players between baseball, football. But when you have 500 Maliks, I've got over 300 Marquise Goodwins, and I've got probably close to 200 of Deontay Foremans. So Marquise was kind of my guy when I started, and then it's because he had relic cards. They were, I posted one today. I just got a black 4-color RPA, autograph on card. It's awesome.
For sure.
So Malik, 2018 comes up, and he's in that year. So I start getting some. He has some in Sage. I start snagging Sage. Mike Zier helped me put together a rainbow from that. And man, I was sitting at this like 25, 30 mark of Malik's. And it was a guy named Wes Moore. A lot of people know on here, great guy. He caught wind of it, and literally I'm picking up my daughter one day from school, and I open a mail day from him, and there's like 45 Malik autographs in this package.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm at 100 and some odd cards, and he is kind of the one I kind of contribute to egging it on. It's just it was there, so I could start snagging them fairly cheap. People win, and I mean, it's something that most people wouldn't collect. So people were sending them to me, or I could trade real easy for them, or so then it got to that I'll be honest, at 300, I was going to quit. I mean, I had some guys, and I even wrote down when I got number 299 and 300, I can tell you who gave them to me, because I wrote on the back of the card just so I had. I thought that was going to be my stopping point. Then 500 came, and at the end there, I was like, I don't know, 15 short, I think. And I actually, Malik followed me with the other stuff. He had sent me a jersey in the past, and I just asked him, hey, could I mail you like these 12 cards and have you sign them so that I knew number 500, was from you.
For sure.
And all he texted back me, DM me back was a phone number. And I'm like, wait a minute. So sure enough, it's his phone number. Wow. And yeah, he's offered to meet up. I go a little deeper, and I know you got the background of this because I was texting you as it happened, but he actually had me go to a barbecue joint and meet him up. And in Austin, there's a place called Terry Black's. It was a family-run business. There was some separation in the family. They all kept the name Terry Black's, but they're different locations. So he tells me Terry Black's. I only know of one Terry Black's. It's huge. It's downtown. I go straight there. I pay $15 in this parking lot to park. I walk over. I'm texting him. I'm like, all right, man, I'm here. Where are you? And he's like, I'm sitting right here. Where you at? Oh. So I'm like, man, wait a minute. So I call him up. Well, no, I found out there was another one about 10 miles away that was closer to the university. Oh, geez. And I'm even telling him, hey, don't wait. It's my bad. He's like, dude, I'm not doing nothing. I'm right here. So over there, we got to sit down for a little bit. He looked at the cards. I brought him all my cards. I was going to give him any ones that he wanted. He signed 14 of them for me, and then signed the print and plate number 500.
For sure.
And then, unknown to me, he walks out to his car, and he walks back in with a Chargers jersey.
Yep.
From his time there, and sat there and autographed that. And I mean, it was great. I made a helmet for him, and that was it. It was a great experience.
It is a pretty amazing thing what social media can do in that regard. To connect you with a player that you collect all his cards, and then you get a chance to meet him, and then you get a chance to stand him up. So not everyone can say they stood up.
I'm telling you, I texted my wife at the same time, and I'm like, you're not going to believe what I did. The kicker for me was like, literally, parking is horrible down there. And I'm like, I'm going to park in this garage. I don't care. It was $15. I don't care. I was there maybe 10 minutes till I realized I was in the wrong spot. So,
I love it. All right, man. I got one bonus question for you, man. I posted on Twitter today that I was going to have you on the high five, and two guys jumped on there so fast with their nonsense. Dave and Dub, man, how did this whole Twitter beef, rivalry, friendship, hating on each other, how did this all start? Like, give me like a 1-minute synopsis.
I hate both those guys. I don't even know. So
I'm aware.
It's funny. Both guys, don't tell them. I've met them both. Dave, I was on a trip going to Florida, and we had set up this where we could meet for a meal on my way back. So we met down in Destin, Florida. We talk, we chat, we text, and then we've actually met up a second time on another trip down that way. And it's just good people, man. Like I've made helmets for them. And heck, Dave gave me a Nolan Ryan baseball. I posted one time that, it was kind of something I'd love to have. And the last time we met, he brings a Nolan Ryan baseball to the pool, They're all right guys, I guess, but.
Oh, well, it's one of my favorite things on Twitter, man. I love it. I love the friendships, the banters, because we all know it's good fun, but yeah, man.
It's funny to see people, though. I mean, I'll get DMs and people will say that, how much they like the banter. Oh, yeah. Funny because you'll catch other people that will jump onto it who may not know me, and then they'll DM me or something like, hey, man, is that okay? I didn't mean to say this. And like, I have Twitter just for fun, man. If anybody offended me, I'd let you know. It's fun to interact. It's fun to see people's cards. It's fun to see how they collect, what hobbies are, what their interests are, what they like to do outside of work and cards. And you just get to see it. You don't even have to comment on it. Hell, you can just go by and hit a simple like, and somebody's on vacation somewhere, and it's just cool to see. And then you feel like you get to know these people. And then every once in a while, I mean, I've met God, 10 or 15 people in different states.
Yeah.
Just on my travels. And, you know, they're like, hey, if you're going through here, swing by and let's, you know, I'll drop off some cards to them or something. You know, it's just awesome.
Pretty special thing, man. I love it, man. We'll finish on that. Just the good of Twitter, the good of social media. We got a high five, bro. That's it. That's all I got. High five at the end. You can check out Nate on Twitter at Gunderson Nathan. Check out all of his banter with Dave and Dub. It's very fun. You can also follow me if you're bored at Mr. K-Dub. Always remember, my friends, be the good in the world. Nate, my dude, I appreciate you joining me. That's all we got. That's all we got. Let's hook them up.
You got it, brother.
We'll see you guys next time on the next High Five.